Hello everyone, hope that you're all healthy and fine. Today we're going to talk about a viral video that has emerged from this COVID-19 pandemic. This video captured a touching moment between a nurse in Wuhan and her 9-year-old daughter. Her daughter brought her some dumplings, but the nurse was under quarantine orders and not allowed to come into contact with her loved ones. The nurse was consoling her daughter that she was fighting monsters and would be home after she had defeated them. It was then that he shared the iconic moment of an air hug. This video not only blew up in China, it also garnered support from netizens from all around the world. This video inspired similar videos from other frontline workers, as well as responses from other celebrities and content creators. One songwriter even wrote it into a song called 隔空拥抱. It started a wave of positivity and encouragement in a very distressing time, and many will regard this as a powerful form of Zhengnengliang. And this is what I intend to cover today. If you'd like to read up more, I've included my citations in the description box below. Now, let's dive into it. What is Zhengnengliang? Zhengnengliang directly translates to positive energy. When something has Zhengnengliang, it makes the viewers feel good. This internet catchphrase was first popularized during the 2012 London Olympics. It was first used by netizens to celebrate the selection of ordinary people to become the relay torchbearers. These ordinary people actually became famous for performing moral acts. Note that these roles are traditionally reserved for elite professionals and officials. Since then, Zhengnengliang has been used to promote optimism, hope, positivity, and even solidarity, especially in times of natural disasters. In this video, I shall illustrate how Zhengnengliang plays a significant role in the construction of a Chinese identity, both by the Chinese people and the party state. Zhengnengliang is a medium of expression for the Chinese people. In fact, it has even become a genre in China's massive social media platform Douyin. Skits, performances, and acts of kindness that generate a feel-good vibe are shared to project positivity. But what is the significance of sharing a piece of content? Does it really have an impact on people? Scholars Wang and Balnaves discuss how Zhengnengliang influences youth to construct their identities on social media platforms. They construct their identity in relation to others based on the concept of reciprocity. Viewers of Zhengnengliang content see as part of their duty to return the favor either by reacting to the content or by sharing them such that they can pass on the positivity to the next person. In a way, Zhengnengliang is a social capital that is exchanged in a digital form. This creates some form of solidarity that gives you the feeling that you're part of a larger community. This is extremely relevant for youth who are at a stage where they are constantly searching for their identity. Zhengnengliang is also a medium for the Chinese people to engage with the broader societal norms and values, which is essential in the construction of a moral identity. From the small acts of extraordinary extortion to the large-scale distribution of unethical goods, these incidents bring worry to the moral condition of modern China, which is further amplified by the rapid and wider spread of information. Zhengnengliang is thus regarded as a tool for the Chinese people to reverse the supposed moral decline. Essentially, a person who's projecting Zhengnengliang sees themselves as a moral agent who is improving the moral condition of the Chinese society. Zhengnengliang content is created to promote certain virtues that are deemed important to Chinese morality, such as filial piety. At the same time, it is used to counter other content that promotes materialism and consumerism, which are deemed to be responsible for China's superficial moral fabric. Zhengnengliang content sometimes contain a social commentary of the inequalities within the society. However, the content is geared towards addressing these inequalities or immoral acts with acts of kindness. Another scholar, Guo Yu, uses Goffman's concept of dramaturgy to explain the limitations of Zhengnengliang content. Essentially, the content presented online may not accurately reflect the moral reality in China. On the front stage, say in front of the camera, the individual is able to curate and present values that are deemed desirable. However, this carefully constructed self takes into consideration the presence of an audience and what they want to see. If I come back home after a long rough day, I will not be interested to see anything too depressing. I will not scroll through news that just make me lose faith in humanity. And this is what content creators understand and omit from their Zhengnengliang content. Now on the everyday life of ordinary Chinese, there is no obligation for the Chinese people to practice acts of kindness, since there's a lack of validation or that their acts of kindness may not even be reciprocated. Therefore, it is questionable if Zhengnengliang content has actual impacts on how people practice morality. Interestingly, as Zhengnengliang becomes ubiquitous in the Chinese society, it eventually creeps into the state narrative. Before I explain how it happens, it is good to know how information is regulated by the party state. So, there's this department called 宣传部. They oversee how information flows within the country through their control over major news network and internet censorship. Aside from their regulatory role, their function is also to promote party-friendly messages and propaganda. It is an important body that influences how people think and communicate. How did Zhengnengliang bypass the layers of scrutiny of the state censors? Unlike other terms that are created by netizens, the people's expression of Zhengnengliang does not target any form of political authority. Instead, it is regarded as a positive civic force. Furthermore, the notion of Zhengnengliang has been transformed by the party state to better fit its own agenda. The state uses its control over major news networks such as the People's Daily and Xinhua News Agency to produce and reproduce Zhengnengliang content. The AirHug video is one such example. While we do not deny the authenticity of the feelings that were expressed in the video, the moment captured in the video was clearly staged. In the conversation between the Wuhan nurse and her 9-year-old daughter, the nurse mentioned that she was a party official and it was part of her party duty to serve at the front line. Clearly, this video promotes ideals that support national loyalty and party loyalty, as well as more Confucian values such as kinship and filial piety. Similarly, when we look at other videos that have emerged in this pandemic, there seems to be a recurring theme of sacrificing the self for the collective good or to fulfill a higher purpose such as the duty to nation or the duty to party. These party-friendly messages are important to balance out the negative impression of the government due to the poor management of the pandemic in the early stages. At the same time, this video brings out the need for unity and, more importantly, compliance. That being said, Zhengnengliang content can be used by the government to shape public opinion, influence public behavior, and concurrently reinforce the values that the party thinks is important for the state. Therefore, Chinese morality is not simply constructed by the individual, but also intervened by the state. With that, we see how the political life of people in China is interwoven into their personal life. I think that the party state's adoption of Zhengnengliang is an interesting development, but not totally unpredictable. The fact that Zhengnengliang was initiated as a grassroots movement lends the party state some form of legitimacy in its usage. Despite so, the Chinese people are discerning. They are able to tell the intentions behind the politicizing of Zhengnengliang. Over time, both usage seem to coexist with one another, one as a popular form of Zhengnengliang and another as a party or propaganda form of Zhengnengliang. The party state use of Zhengnengliang is not only limited to a domestic audience, but it is also exported as a form of soft power. First piloted by President Xi Jinping in 2013 on his visit to the US, where he emphasized the need to project more positivity into the world. Increasingly, we see China being recognized as an economic powerhouse, but its international reputation is still tainted by unethical labor practices, human rights violations, and so on. Clearly, the inclusion of Zhengnengliang in the building of China's international image is important to balance out the negative portrayal that is currently rampant on the international arena. Zhengnengliang is not only projected through digital content, but also in how China builds its relationship with other countries. I think one prominent example in this period is how the Chinese government provided medical supplies to Europe and other parts of the world. This is not only a form of material aid, at the same time, it presents a positive image of China as one that's strong, coordinated, and have the capacity to help the world. Beyond the political level, people-produced Zhengnengliang is also exported to the rest of the world. For example, where Singaporeans decided to clap for frontline workers and circulate the videos of the clapping to generate hope and optimism. These trends or movements signify a flow of entertainment culture from China into these other parts of the world. I think what is fascinating and worth further exploring is how entertainment culture in China is disseminated in other parts of the world and how they are received by the local people. In this video, I think we have covered both sides of the story of how Zhengnengliang contributes to identity construction by both the Chinese people and the Chinese party state. We have shown how, on the individual level, the Chinese people are able to make use of Zhengnengliang content to express what they think is Chinese morality, and in that process, they feel empowered as moral agents who could improve the moral condition of the society. We have also explained how the state stepped in to take over the use of Zhengnengliang in order to better fit its agenda. On the domestic level, the state makes use of Zhengnengliang content to influence how the public perceives the Chinese government. On the international level, Zhengnengliang is an important form of soft power and image building in order to counter the negative portrayal of China in the international arena. There are certain parallels between the people and the government in terms of how they use Zhengnengliang as a form of self-presentation, as a way to construct an image that is deemed desirable and appealing to the outside world. A point to take away from this interaction between the people and the government in how they negotiate the use of Zhengnengliang, it showcases how important information is in shaping how people think as well as how people identify themselves. Lastly, through this discussion, we've understood that the process of constructing a cultural identity is not unidirectional. When we look at China's case from the perspective of an outsider, we may tend to assume that the process will be a top-down and centralized one. However, we have shown that this process is more interactive and involves both the Chinese people and the Chinese state. I look forward to hear what you have to say, so do leave a comment and share your thoughts. Stay home, stay healthy and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!